So actually going abroad absolutely opened my eyes completely to help me understand what studying abroad is, what it looks like, how students engage in it. And again, touched on this earlier, but what they grapple with, what they struggle with, and also the different ways that they kind of work through this developmental process, because they're different by the time they come back. And even SY Abroad is a short-term program, 3 weeks, but you can see tremendous change and development in a short period of time.
It was a wonderful and unique opportunity to be able to have kind of additional relationships outside of kind of a clinical setting that I usually am in day to day, and it really gave me an opportunity to get to know more of the USD student population, specifically sophomore students, which was really fun, and they're at kind of a neat kind of crossroads, and they've been here at USD for a couple years, and they're thinking about going abroad, and they're starting to think about their majors, and it was really nice to have kind of a student mentor role as well within that opportunity. It was really a nice snapshot to be able to kind of see them in their day-to-day kind of environment in a new place, and how even students react to that. Some students had never been abroad, and other students had traveled a lot. And it was really nice to be able to see kind of how students that were maybe more familiar with the international experience were able to kind of help other students navigate. So it was a really neat peer-to-peer interaction that I was able to observe.
As I said, I just feel like I have the demeanor, the personality. I think that students find me accessible once they start to get to know me. I do know that there were students on the trip who were kind of a little fearful of the fact that the Dean of Students was going to be on their trip to Sevilla this past January, and I tried to allay those fears very early on. And while on the trip, people actually did say to me, we had some concerns because we didn't know what it would be like to be on a trip with the Dean of Students, but now that we've had an opportunity to get to know you, we don't even necessarily think of you as the Dean of Students. In my experience in the past several years of traveling to Europe with students, and I think our students know that when they travel abroad, that one of the liberties that they're going to gain as a result of going abroad is the ability to consume alcohol. And I've had lots of insights as a result of that, being on the trip with students and kind of hearing what their plans are, learning about what they're actually doing when they do go out, how are they managing themselves, how are they taking care of each other, and just getting a sense of how important alcohol is in their lives, and how are they treating it, or how are they managing themselves maturely and making good choices around their use of alcohol. So I do gain insights there, and as a result of also just being with them every single day, more and more you just kind of listen to their stories, you're overhearing conversations, and you can just gain lots of insights about, again, who is today's 19, 20-year-old, a sophomore in college at USD. So I always walk away with great insights about our students that I wouldn't get from just having a formal meeting in my office with a student about an issue.
Yeah, it was really wonderful to be able to kind of see how even like accommodations or accessibility is applied and addressed while abroad, and it was really helpful for me to think about prior to students going on this experience of how to help kind of them prepare mentally, that maybe they won't have a testing center necessarily, but there'll be a specific individual proctoring your exam, and making sure that the students are communicating with their professors if they are eligible for accommodations. Also how different kind of learning profiles might navigate an international experience. So if you were visually impaired and what that might look like, or the importance of accessibility when kind of planning activities, what some of the housing arrangements might be, of how we have a little bit more control of that over here at USD, and we can work with our campus partners to make that possible. But sometimes while abroad, you have to think a little bit creatively. So it really helped me understand kind of what that experience looks like abroad, and how important it is for everybody to communicate about what that might look like, and really be a little bit flexible and help communicate that with the sister school while abroad. If certain wellness issues do come up, we were able to kind of strategize with them about the best kind of resource within the community, who to talk through it. So in kind of looking at it of, yes, handling different kind of challenges that might come up. I think that they look similar to some of the challenges that students have while they're here at USD, but they're just exacerbated, and they maybe feel that much more intense or kind of powerful, and they're not able to kind of use as many coping strategies just because everything is so new and it's exciting, and they're with their peer group 24/7 basically. So really kind of being able to be proactive before they go and making sure that they are fairly stable and or have thought through a lot of different scenarios that maybe have been challenging for them in the past, and using those strategies that they've used to be successful. Really helping them think through kind of what are their plans, how are they planning to maintain kind of their wellness while they are abroad, and if things do come up, how are they kind of strategizing that? Who will they be communicating with? How will they get a medication refill? Do they have enough before they go if they're going for a whole semester? So I think that that's been helpful to have some of those conversations, because I've seen it kind of on how it's manifested at the international side, and going abroad, and what that was like for a lot of the students, especially. I was able to interact with 85 students, and they're all different individuals, so they all pose different challenges.
So there are things that, when I come back into the workplace and have to engage in decision-making about certain things, I can think back to my experience with students and what I think they would find attractive or would like.
I have a better understanding of so many different areas of the university that I thought I understood pretty well before, but by working with them closely, one, I hear more about kind of the nature of their work and, the things that they experience and what are challenges and, what are the kind of current developments in a variety of areas that I just don't know otherwise. I mean, you can see email updates or go to meetings and you have, these kind of superficial updates of what's happening, but get to know kind of what's going on in a variety of different departments and offices in a completely different way. So yes, so each time I've left with a much better understanding and appreciation for what other people are doing, what role and function they're serving, what's going on in those areas, and also I think understanding things that I thought I understood, like residential life and what they do in residential life and how that works. But then studying abroad, we're in like a residential life setting in many ways, and I see them in action, and it has given me such a stronger appreciation for what they do and the situations that they manage, and also helped me understand kind of my limitations as well. Like a lot of the things that people in residential life are able to manage, and it's just kind of they've managed many situations, similar kinds of situations on campus, and makes me realize, wow, I wouldn't know how to manage this situation. I probably wouldn't want to manage this situation, and just again helps me appreciate the role that they play and the difficult situations that they manage all the time. And then other areas, the counseling center and health center and university ministry, just across the board, whoever is participating at any given time has helped me develop such a stronger understanding and appreciation of what they do and what they contribute and what they have to offer. I see different skill sets and strengths that complement what we do collectively for students.
Also, just those relationships and those campus partners of being able to share this unique 3 weeks with wonderful people, and seeing them on campus or helping them with an outreach project, or if there's a certain selection process going on, that each of us can kind of help each other out and understand more about the departments, but we're all working as a whole to support the whole USD community. That was really unique. And then even just spending 3 weeks with people as far as other departments or wonderful individuals that I never would be able to kind of get to know them on that level. And that was really wonderful to be able to come back and even go to lunch or meet with them after work and just kind of reminisce about our times together, and how important that is, of kind of bringing that back and reflecting that to our other colleagues that might want to get involved with that. Sometimes you hear about different departments and you know that they kind of function as X support to the student, but there's so many different intricacies across all the different departments, and it's really about supporting one another. It's not just like, oh, you just go over there and they'll help you with the International Center application. There's so many different pieces to that, and oftentimes my department works really closely with the International Center, but I think through the process we were able to really understand how we can even streamline it for one another, and even like in residential life of what some of the daily questions that come up, or how they kind of strategize problem solving, and how we can help support one another throughout that process.
It helped me develop a stronger and better appreciation of faculty and faculty members' role, and and just the process of teaching a course, but then also adapting a course to a unique setting in an international setting, and leading students through that process of whatever's entailed in the specific class. Of how I have a better understanding of how challenging and difficult that is. But it also helped me get to know, again, colleagues, in this case faculty, on a much deeper level as individuals, as people, beyond just faculty who teach classes. I got to know many faculty as people, learn about their families and their backgrounds and their interests and what they like to do, and what they like to do hanging out, and just kind of spending time with them was great. And I also understand, I think I have a better understanding of the faculty, the challenges and issues that faculty encounter and face and struggle with, that I don't hear as much about on campus, although I work closely with a lot of faculty. But again, in close quarters for that period of time, you just get to know a lot about what's going on with people work-wise, and in their personal lives as well. In one way, it helped faculty, not lump like our office into this maybe stereotypical perception of what student affairs does, of like fun and games, and what my office does is student success, retention, academic support, first year experience, second year experience, which crosses kind of all domains. And some faculty members had no idea that that's the nature of the work that we engaged in. And then I think for other areas that are more typical of kind of traditional student affairs operations, I witnessed faculty members just in awe of the ability of professionals in those areas, whether it's counseling center, health center, residential life, disability services, whatever it may be, working so well and so effectively directly with students in a variety of capacities when they're struggling, and managing situations that maybe are difficult, but then also in kind of the process of the broader learning experience, and that these folks are educators as well, is that they're not just there to kind of manage crises or put on programs, but they're there to kind of walk side by side with students through their broader educational experience. And I think, I can't speak for the faculty who went, but my guess is the faculty who have gone come away seeing that side of the work, and seeing how good people are at supporting that side of the work. And my sense is like they have a much better appreciation of what other folks are doing to support students' education, and that's very different for the faculty who participate in this program than faculty who have not done something like this. And I think the same thing doesn't happen with faculty-led study abroad programs, that doesn't pair them with other staff in other roles supporting students outside of class experience. So I think that's a unique difference with faculty